I'm going to share perspectives that will challenge everything you thought you knew about success in the modern world. I need you to listen with an open yet critically thinking mind. Have you ever wondered why truly good people often struggle to reach their objectives? Why honest individuals frequently find themselves outmaneuvered? Why generous souls sometimes feel used and unappreciated? The answer isn't always bad luck or circumstance. Often, it's because they haven't learned to fuse their core values with strategic intelligence. A complex social game is constantly unfolding around you, and while many fixate on purely idealistic methods, a select few have mastered blending those virtues with practical wisdom, the kind rarely spoken about in polite company. What I will reveal has been known by philosophers and strategic leaders for centuries. It's the crucial understanding that separates those who achieve their ambitions from those who make do with less. But here is the pivotal point. Once you grasp this framework, your perception will shift permanently. Once you see the true mechanics of human psychology, you'll recognize the patterns everywhere. You will understand the hidden dynamics governing every interaction, every relationship, and every genuine success story. So, if you prefer simplistic answers for complicated human challenges, what follows will unsettle you. We are about to dive into the nuanced territory most people deliberately avoid. But if you are curious about the true psychology of influence and communication, if you want to understand why pure idealism often leads to frustration, if you're ready to discover a more sophisticated blueprint for achieving your legitimate goals, then leave this affirmation in the comments. I seek wisdom, because wisdom, not manipulation, but a genuine mastery of human psychology, is poised to transform how you operate in the world. It will make you profoundly more effective at accomplishing your goals without compromising your integrity. Let me ask you a provocative question. When did pure idealism, completely divorced from practical strategy, last help you create meaningful, tangible change? I'm not asking what made you feel virtuous or what others applauded. I mean real outcomes, measurable progress, the actual capacity to generate positive impact in your life. If you're struggling to recall, there's a reason. It isn't that being good is bad. It's that being good without being strategic inevitably leads to limited effectiveness. Here is what many well-intentioned people never discover. The frameworks you live by often presume everyone else shares your level of awareness and integrity, but that is not how human dynamics always function. Consider this: every authority figure in your life, parents, teachers, leaders, taught you similar virtues. Be honest, be fair, wait your turn. Good things come to those who wait, but observe their actual conduct. When their own critical goals are on the line, do they rigidly adhere to these simple rules? Or do they combine their values with sophisticated considerations of timing, psychology, and human nature? This is the crucial insight. Many people preach idealistic standards while personally employing more nuanced approaches. They aren't necessarily being hypocritical. They've simply learned that reality demands both a moral compass and strategic intelligence. The core problem is this: pure idealism without practical wisdom severely restricts your impact. You become predictable, and those with a superior understanding of human psychology may leverage your consistency for their benefit. While you're focused solely on rule following, they are merging principles with effectiveness. While you're preoccupied with immediate fairness, they are balancing ethical conduct with achieving results that produce lasting, positive change. Here is the essential truth: your moral principles are invaluable, but when applied without strategic thought, they frequently fail to achieve their intended purpose. Need proof? Look at any individual who has created meaningful change in the world. Did they succeed by being purely idealistic, never contemplating timing, psychology, or human nature? Absolutely not. They succeeded by being wise enough to know when pure idealism serves their mission and when it must be balanced with practical intelligence. Machiavelli once observed, "The promise given was a necessity of the past. The word broken is a necessity of the present." This isn't an endorsement of dishonesty. It means understanding that rigid adherence to any single approach, no matter how well intentioned, without weighing context and consequences, can often create negative unintended outcomes. The most effective people grasp a truth many ignore. Circumstances evolve. What worked yesterday might fail tomorrow. Inflexible thinking, whether naively idealistic or cynically pessimistic, yields inflexible results. You were conditioned to believe that questioning conventional wisdom makes you difficult, that thinking strategically is selfish, that considering psychology is manipulative. But the people who achieve meaningful change understand that true effectiveness requires both good intentions and the intelligence to implement them in complex, real-world situations. The most challenging part. Many people are trained to believe that questioning these approaches makes them less ethical, that protecting their legitimate interests is problematic. But those who create real positive change don't constrain themselves with such binary thinking when their important missions are at stake. Don't be the person who follows rigid formulas that prevent you from achieving your legitimate goals, while others develop intelligent methods for creating positive impact. The world has always required both good intentions and practical wisdom. The only question is, are you ready to cultivate both? Drop this affirmation in the comments. I choose wisdom. Here is a concept that may challenge your assumptions about social dynamics. The people who achieve the most meaningful results often understand psychology and influence better than those who focus solely on being consistently accommodating. Some people benefit when you are predictably accommodating, while they themselves blend kindness with strategic thinking. They appreciate when you are automatically forgiving, while they practice selective forgiveness based on whether it generates positive outcomes. They prefer when you are consistently passive, while they balance cooperation with assertiveness when necessary. Why? Because predictable responses can be exploited in negotiations, relationships, and competitive environments. Consider these common pieces of advice that sound noble but often produce limited results. Always avoid any conflict. Translation: avoid necessary, difficult conversations that could actually solve problems and improve relationships. And never consider your own interests. Translation: let others consistently prioritize their needs while you neglect yours, creating resentment and imbalance. Forgive everything immediately. Translation: give people unlimited chances to repeat negative behaviors without addressing the root causes. Always be accommodating. Translation: allow people to repeatedly cross your boundaries without having honest discussions about mutual respect. These aren't inherently wise approaches. They are often mindsets that benefit those who want you to remain predictable and non-challenging while they pursue their own goals more intelligently. Imagine this common scenario. Someone consistently interrupts you in meetings. What does conventional wisdom tell you? Stay quiet, don't cause tension, be polite. So you do. You remain silent while they dominate conversations that need your input. And everyone thinks you're wonderfully considerate for not making waves. But what truly happened? Your valuable contributions were silenced, and social conditioning convinced you this was the right thing to do. This pattern repeats endlessly. Someone takes credit for your work. You tell yourself collaboration matters most. Someone is chronically late for you. You tell yourself patience is a virtue. Someone constantly asks for favors without reciprocation. You tell yourself giving is its own reward. Each time, you convince yourself you're being virtuous. But in reality, you are training people that your time, ideas, and energy have no boundaries. Machiavelli once said, "Men are so simple and so much inclined to obey immediate needs that a deceiver will never lack victims for his deceptions." The deception is this: you've been convinced that appropriately standing up for yourself is wrong, that expecting reciprocity is demanding, that protecting your legitimate interests is selfish. Meanwhile, observe how these same people behave when something they value is threatened. Watch how they balance their principles with strategic responses when their own important goals are involved. Your parents told you to share everything, but did they share all their resources indiscriminately? Your teachers preached honesty, but did they reveal the complete truth about how success is built? Your leaders advocated for humility, but do they consistently practice it in competitive situations? The answer often reveals a pattern, different standards for different contexts, depending on what serves their larger purposes. They taught you social expectations partly to create predictable, manageable interactions, while reserving the right to be more sophisticated when their own key objectives were involved. Your consistent accommodation became their advantage. Your automatic forgiveness became their permission slip. Your patience became their indefinite delay. Here is the disturbing part. This isn't always accidental. Sometimes it is systematic. Sometimes it is intentional. Certain systems benefit from populations who won't challenge ineffective approaches, won't demand better treatment, won't question arrangements that serve some people better than others. And you may have been the perfect participant, the ideal example of someone who actually follows the social expectations that others apply more flexibly, but awareness creates choice. And when people become aware, they learn the world operates on more complex principles than simple social rules suggest. The question is, how long will you operate with an incomplete understanding of how human psychology truly works? Drop this affirmation in the comments. I see clearly. I will now show you something that will permanently alter how you view successful people in any field. They understand a crucial psychological principle. People respond to presentation as much as they do to substance. Do you believe that effective leader achieved results by behaving identically in every situation? That respected figure never adapted their communication style to their audience? That success comes from having only one way of interacting? Think again. The most effective people are not rigidly consistent in their self-presentation. They are something far more advanced. They are intelligent communicators who understand that different contexts demand different approaches. This is the insight that separates the highly effective from the rest. Effective people know communication is contextual. Less effective people think communication should be uniform regardless of circumstances. What have they figured out? That influence depends not on your intentions alone, but on your ability to connect with people in ways they can comprehend and value. Machiavelli said, "Everyone sees what you appear to be, few experience what you really are." This isn't about being inauthentic. It's about being intelligent. It's about understanding that the aspects of yourself you highlight in one scenario may not be the most effective to emphasize in another. Let me provide crystal clear examples. You're at a family gathering sharing personal stories. Do you reveal your deepest vulnerabilities? Or do you share something meaningful but appropriate that builds connection while maintaining healthy emotional boundaries? The less strategic person overshares and creates awkwardness. The more strategic person builds genuine rapport while protecting their boundaries. You're discussing a topic you're expert in with someone holding strong opinions. Do you overwhelm them with technical details to prove your knowledge? Or do you share insights in ways they can appreciate and apply? The less strategic person creates resistance. The more strategic person fosters understanding and gains a valuable ally. You discover someone is spreading inaccurate information about your project. Do you correct them publicly in the name of truth, or do you address it privately in a way that preserves relationships while ensuring accuracy? The less strategic person creates unnecessary conflict. The more strategic person solves the real problem while maintaining working relationships. See the difference? This isn't deception. It's understanding that intelligence means adapting your communication to create the best outcomes for everyone involved, yourself included. Those who criticize others for not being the same in every situation are often limiting their own effectiveness. Their criticism usually stems from a lack of understanding about how sophisticated communication actually functions. You know what is truly authentic, being intelligent enough to communicate effectively so you can genuinely help the people you care about. Being strategic enough to build influence so you can enact the positive changes you wish to see. Moral consistency from a position of limited influence helps very few. Strategic effectiveness from a position of earned influence creates massive positive impact. The crowd may misunderstand adaptability, seeing only the surface. But the people who matter, those making real decisions and creating real change, they understand sophisticated communication. And sophisticated communication is this: present the facets of yourself that foster connection and understanding. Build the reputation that opens doors for collaboration. Develop the communication skills that create opportunities to make a positive difference. This doesn't make you dishonest. It makes you effective. It doesn't make you fake. It makes you complete. Master the art of contextual communication, and you master the art of creating positive outcomes in diverse situations. Let's discuss the invisible barriers that keep most people from reaching their potential their entire lives. These aren't external obstacles. They are self-imposed limitations based on misunderstood concepts of success and worthiness. This is personal. This is where you discover how deeply certain limiting beliefs are embedded. How many times have you wanted something that would improve your life, but stopped yourself because it felt too ambitious? How many opportunities have you let pass, worrying you didn't deserve them? How often have you apologized for taking up space, asking for what you've earned, or simply wanting to grow? That isn't wisdom. That's conditioning. The truth many never learn is this: self-doubt is usually a learned response, and it only limits you if you never question its validity. Think carefully. Who benefits when you doubt your worthiness? Who gains when you feel uncertain about pursuing opportunities? Who profits when you hesitate to advocate for yourself? It is rarely you. It is typically systems or individuals who benefit from you staying exactly where you are, rather than growing into your full potential. Let's confront common limiting beliefs directly. Limiting belief: wanting growth is greedy. The truth: why should you settle for less than you are capable of? Who decided your potential should remain untapped? A limiting belief: prioritizing your development is selfish. The truth: if you don't invest in your own growth, how can you maximize your ability to contribute to others? How is it noble to neglect developing your capacity to help? A limiting belief: your success diminishes others. The truth: this is generally false. Your growth often creates opportunities for others. Your success enables you to help more people, more effectively. The people who may have unconsciously programmed these limitations into you often don't operate under the same restrictions. While you're paralyzed by self-doubt, they are taking decisive action and creating results. Machiavelli stated, "It is not titles that honor men, but men that honor titles." You don't need external permission to grow. You don't require approval to improve your life. You don't need validation to pursue your goals with determination. Successful people do things differently. Instead of fighting limiting beliefs, they reframe them entirely. When someone suggests you're too ambitious, you don't defend yourself. You state, "I'm taking responsibility for developing my potential." When they call you success obsessed, you don't apologize. You say, "I'm maximizing my ability to contribute." When they try to guilt you for wanting growth, you don't explain. You keep moving toward your objectives. Try this perspective shifting exercise for 1 week. Every time you feel uncertain about pursuing an opportunity, ask, "Who specifically benefits if I doubt myself here? Is this hesitation actually protecting anyone or just limiting my potential? What would I do if I knew I had every right to pursue this?" The answers will likely surprise you. In most cases, the self-doubt serves others' comfort levels more than it serves your authentic development. It isn't protecting anyone. It's just keeping you smaller than you need to be. The moment you understand this, everything changes. You realize your self-doubt was learned, not innate. It was often installed by people who needed you to behave in ways that didn't threaten their position or world. You begin to see that the most effective people don't waste time doubting their worthiness. They invest time developing their capabilities and creating value. They know a vital secret you are now learning. Self-doubt is optional. Limiting beliefs are optional. Results require action despite uncertainty. The people trying to make you feel guilty for pursuing growth are likely struggling with their own limitations. The people criticizing your desire for success probably don't understand how success is actually built. Your mission is not to make everyone comfortable with your development. Your mission is to grow into your potential, regardless of others' discomfort with change. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I choose growth. This is where everything integrates into a system that works in the complex real world. Most people view ethics as binary, good or evil, right or wrong. But sophisticated individuals understand that ethical behavior is contextual. They consciously choose how to apply their values based on what serves their larger purpose and creates the most positive impact. This is strategic ethics. This is how you stop being hindered by oversimplified thinking and start architecting meaningful, positive change. Here is the transformative framework. You deploy kindness when it builds the relationships and trust needed to create positive impact. When genuine generosity fosters loyalty and collaboration, you are the most generous person present. You choose transparency when it serves constructive outcomes. When honesty builds credibility and leads to better decisions for all, you share complete information. You show forgiveness when it demonstrates strength and creates genuine opportunities for improvement. When second chances come with clear boundaries, you are appropriately forgiving. But when kindness enables harmful behavior, when transparency would cause unnecessary damage, when forgiveness is seen as permission to repeat offenses, you adapt. You adjust. You choose the approach that actually creates a positive outcome. You make decisions that serve the greater good. Machiavelli wrote, "The wise man does at once what the fool does finally." The person lacking strategic thinking spends years being exploited before learning to set boundaries. The strategically wise person establishes healthy boundaries immediately, saving everyone involved years of trouble. Observe how this works in practice. Situation: someone constantly requests help but never reciprocates. Conventional response: keep giving endlessly. Strategic ethical response: help them understand that healthy relationships require balance by making your assistance conditional on their participation in mutual support. Situation: you possess information that could benefit you but might discomfort someone else. Conventional response: agonize over being nice. Strategic ethical response: consider how to share this important information in a way that serves everyone's long-term interests, including theirs. Situation: someone spreads damaging misinformation about you. Conventional response: take the high road and ignore it. Strategic ethical response: correct the record in a way that not only clears your name, but demonstrates to others that you value accuracy and fairness. This isn't about becoming callous, it's about becoming complete. It's about developing your full range of ethical responses so you can select the most constructive approach for each unique situation. Consider the historical figures you most admire, the leaders, innovators, and reformers. Did they succeed by applying simple ethical rules blindly? Or did they succeed by being strategically ethical, choosing their battles, timing their actions, and using every appropriate tool to achieve their larger mission of creating positive impact? Every significant achiever has made decisions that simplistic thinking would condemn. They've balanced multiple considerations, weighed competing values, and prioritized long-term impact over short-term comfort. The difference is, they don't apologize for their sophisticated thinking. They understand their achievements enable them to help more people, create more value, and make a bigger difference than they ever could from a position of moral simplicity and practical ineffectiveness. Strategic ethics doesn't mean abandoning your values. It means expanding your methods so your values can actually create positive change in complex reality. You can be generous when generosity advances constructive ends. You can be transparent when honesty serves authentic interests. You can forgive when forgiveness enables genuine growth. But when those approaches fail, when being simplistically good means being ineffective, you have other options, better options, more effective options that still serve an ethical purpose. And effectiveness isn't selfish. When you become more effective, you gain the resources and influence to help others become more effective too. When you limit yourself with oversimplified thinking, you help fewer people, yourself included. The world needs more people who can be both ethical and effective, both principled and practical. It needs people who understand that the highest ethical calling is to build enough capability and influence to make your ethical choices truly matter in the real world. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I create positive impact. We have arrived at the moment of decision where you choose between limited thinking and sophisticated understanding. The hidden cost of oversimplified approaches isn't a single dramatic loss. It's a gradual, quiet erosion. One missed opportunity at a time. Every time you accept what you should have questioned, you train people that your standards are flexible. Every time you stay passive when you should have engaged, you teach the world to make decisions without your input. Every time you choose being liked over being respected, you trade future influence for temporary comfort. The ultimate cost is the positive impact you could have made, the person you could have become, the value you could have contributed if you had understood how effectiveness truly works. Right now, there is someone with your talent, intelligence, and potential living the life you want. They have the relationships, achievements, and influence you desire. what separates you. They learned what you are learning now, but they learned it sooner. They realized the world rewards effectiveness, not just goodness. They understood that ethical behavior is something you can express more fully once you have influence, not something that automatically grants it. They saw that those teaching them simplistic rules weren't following those same limitations with their own important goals. Machiavelli said, "Since love and fear can hardly exist together, if we must choose between them, it is far safer to be feared than loved." In your life, this means it is better to be respected for your competence than dismissed for your naivety. It is better to be taken seriously for your capability than ignored despite your good intentions. I know some of you are thinking, "This sounds complicated. This can't be right." That reaction is precisely why you needed to hear this. That questioning voice isn't necessarily your moral compass. It might be the conditioning that has kept you in place while others advanced using more sophisticated understanding. Look at the results of those who taught you that effectiveness is unethical. Are they creating the positive impact they preach? Are they achieving the changes they claim are important? Are they living by the simplified rules they advocate for others? Often, the answer is no. They gave you frameworks that limit your effectiveness, while they operated on more sophisticated principles that enabled their own success. The choice before you is clear. You can continue following approaches that limit your impact, or you can learn principles that create real change. You can remain the person who means well but achieves little, or you can become the person who means well and accomplishes much. But understand this: complex human dynamics exist whether you comprehend them or not. The only question is whether you will learn how influence actually works, or continue operating with an incomplete map of human psychology. History doesn't remember the morally pure. It remembers the strategically effective. It doesn't celebrate the rule followers. It celebrates the world changers, and changing the world, your world or the larger one, requires understanding how power actually functions, not how you wish it functioned. This isn't about becoming manipulative, it's about becoming complete. An individual who can be ethical when ethics create positive outcomes, and strategic when strategy serves ethical purposes. Someone with enough influence to make their ethical choices truly meaningful. If this exploration has expanded your thinking, hit the like button. Share this with someone limiting their impact with oversimplified approaches. And subscribe, because this is just the beginning of understanding how human psychology truly operates. Most importantly, drop this final affirmation in the comments: I choose power. Because that is what you become when you stop limiting yourself with ineffective methods and start creating your own strategic code for winning. Remember, the real world belongs to those who understand its real rules. Victory belongs to those who stop apologizing for wanting it. Power belongs to those intelligent enough to acquire it and wise enough to use it well. You now know what many never explore. The only question that remains is, what will you do with this understanding? Welcome to sophisticated thinking for creating positive change.